Rodney, shifting gears, this thing caught my eye. And I hadn't heard of this until I saw the announcement. But cannabis advertising platform Weedmaps is going public with a $1.5 billion valuation. Now, this website is a bit interesting. It took me a little while to figure out what the heck is the appeal in this thing. If you go there on weedmaps.com, they don't sell any marijuana products. They just basically connect you to dispensaries in your area. And that's essentially their business model, which is to get advertising dollars from these other dispensaries to put them up on their site so that you can go there, find them, and also get some helpful reviews on THC content and whether or not it made you paranoid or something, Rodney, or helped with your pain. Did you get a chance to check out weedmaps.com? Do you have any thoughts on this? I mean, at $1.5 billion in one of these, what a SPAC mergers, which seems to be the trend as well.
I didn't look into it. I know Weedmaps, right? And so it's kind of
like I'm on there all the time.
Well, it's a Yelp for pot, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And frankly, I think there needs to be something like that. The problem with marijuana, beyond that has been distilled down to a certain THC content and a certain CBD content and some other things. So you get it in a pill, you get it in a gummy, some sort of edible. Yeah. But if you're looking at the flower and smoking it, it changes from plant to plant, even within the exact same crop. And so it's really hard to know exactly what you're getting from each one. Because if you think about it, I mean, alcohol is, of course, distilled. And so we know the exact alcohol content of every bottle of Johnny Walker and every can of beer. Yeah. But you don't know the exact THC content, which is the psychotropic thing that gets you high, of each leaf and a plant. And you certainly don't know that plant, it flowers, you take the seed, you plant another one and it grows. You don't know that the next plant is exactly the same as the first. And so there's such a variance in there that I think there needs to be, just so people are aware as to what's going on. And it can change over time. That's the key, is it can actually be different for a certain dispensary and a certain, whatever it is, crop from month to month or year to year, really. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I think they have a business.
Yeah, I would certainly do. And the other thing they do there, besides getting cash from these dispensaries to put their products on their website, they also sell a cloud-based operating system for merchants as well. And it says here they made $160 million in revenue. I mean, that's great. Now, it brings up here in this article from mjbizdaily.com that the House had passed, I believe it was last week, to decriminalize marijuana at the federal level. Of course, that's not going anywhere. But hinting is this a future play for something like Weedmaps.com? And I think certainly opening up marijuana laws around the country will help it, but I don't think it even needs it, even the way it is right now, Rodney. I think they've got a good model right now, and even without legalization at a federal level, something like that is going to hurt their business.
Well, the legalization at the national level, there was an interesting vote, but it's the first time since 1970 that the national government has voted, in any way, shape, or form to legalize marijuana, decriminalize it. So that's interesting. It's not going to get through the Senate, of course, but if it was made legal nationally, then Weedmaps would have a problem. And their problem is called competition, because they would suddenly have competition from very big competitors, including Yelp, right? All sorts of people, Facebook, Amazon. You're gonna have national players who aren't going to get into a market where they're going to make $6 million, but they'll get into a market where they'll make $60 or $100 million. And so some of these people need to establish their ground early and then hang out the for sale sign. And so they go public. That's great. They cash out a little bit and then just be waiting for that, takeover offer to show up, because that's a better alternative than being crushed.
All right, great stuff, Rodney.